The origin and archetype of a deity is foundational to their character. A god's origin story can shape their personality, motivations, and interactions with other characters. Deities may originate as primordial beings, descendants of time, or even as creations of other gods. For instance, primordial gods might embody fundamental aspects of reality, such as chaos or time, making them ancient and immensely powerful. Archetypes, meanwhile, serve as template for God's role and personalities. Common archetypes include the Creator, a wise, powerful entity, often distant, who views mortals as creations or children; the Destroyer, a god of chaos and destruction, either relishing the role or seeing it as necessary for renewal; and the Trickster, a deity who defies conventional morality, challenging gods and mortals alike, bringing both mischief and insight. When establishing a god's origin and an archetype, consider how these aspects influence their behavior and relationships. A deity born from the blood of a slain titan might carry a legacy of vengeance, seeking to destroy those who wronged their progenitor. This origin story not only defines the god, but also sets the stage for potential conflicts and alliances within your narrative. That tip, establish clear origins and archetypes, is the first of 10 I've put together to help with writing gods. My community voted for this topic on this week, so this is a couple of things I've put together. If there's something you wish to know about in greater detail or a specific question, feel free to ask in the comments. And if you find this video helpful, remember to press the like button. Now let's get back to the tips in this overview. Tip number 2. Define their symbolism and form. Symbolism and physical form are critical in conveying a god's nature and dominion. Each deity should be associated with symbols that reflect their power and influence. These symbols could include animals, colors, and artifacts. For example, a war god might be symbolized by a lion or eagle, representing strength and dominance, while a harvest deity might be linked to cattle and bees, symbolizing abundance and prosperity. The physical form of a deity should embody their domain. Gods can take on anthropomorphic forms, exaggerating to reflect their power, such as a storm god appearing as a towering figure surrounded by swirling clouds and lightning. Alternatively, they might have hybrid forms, combining human and animal traits to symbolize their dominion over both realms, like the Egyptian god Anubis, who has the human body and a jackal head. In some cases, a god may not have a fixed form, instead manifesting as natural elements, such as a storm, a burning flame, or a constellation. This abstract representation can emphasize the god's transcendence and mystery, making it more formidable and awe-inspiring to mortals. Tip 3. Determine their domiciles. Where gods reside play a significant role in their mystique and the way they interact with the world. Deities might dwell in celestial realms, hidden sanctuaries, or even among mortals. Heavenly realms, such as divine palaces in the sky or an undersea kingdom, often reflect the god's domain and symbolizes their power and separation from the mortal plane. Alternatively, gods may choose hidden sanctuaries on earth, such as sacred groves or hidden temples, where they remain closed yet elusive to their followers. These places are often difficult to reach, requiring a pilgrimage or a quest, which can serve as a significant plot point in your narrative. Some gods prefer to live among mortals, either in disguise or openly, making them more relatable but also more involved in mortal affairs. This proximity can lead to direct interactions with characters, offering guidance, rewards, and challenges that drive the story forward. Tip number 4. Incorporate immortality and death. While gods are often immortal, their immortality can take different forms, each with its own narrative implication. True immortality might mean the god cannot die, but can be bound, banished, or rendered powerless through special means, such as imposing them in a magical artifact. Conditional immortality, on the other hand, ties the god's life to specific conditions, such as the continued worship of their followers or the existence of a sacred object or place. Some gods experience cycles of death and rebirth, reflecting the cycles of nature. A vegetation god, for example, might die each winter and be reborn in spring, symbolizing the renewal of life. The concept of divine breath can introduce high stakes to your narrative. The death of a god can lead to the collapse of their domain, the birth of new gods, or the empowerment of another entity who inherits their power. Tip 6. Explore their attitudes towards mortals. A god's attitude towards mortals significantly influences their interactions and the nature of their worship. Benevolent gods are protective and nurturing, guiding mortals towards enlightenment or prosperity. These deities might provide blessings, perform miracles, or intervene in mortal affairs to protect their followers. In contrast, indifferent gods see mortals as insignificant, rarely intervening unless it serves their interests. Their worship might be more about tradition than actual divine interaction. Malevolent gods, on the other hand, view mortals as playthings or tools, causing suffering and demanding harsh sacrifices. The followers might worship out of fear rather than love. The god's attitude shapes the culture of their followers. A malevolent god might have a cult of fanatic worshippers who perform dark rituals, while a benevolent god's temple may be in a place of healing and refuge. This dynamic adds layers to your world building, influencing the society and characters' beliefs and actions. Tip number 6. Utilize divine relationships and conflicts. Gods rarely exist in isolation. They often have intricate relationships with other deities, forming alliances, rivalries, and familial bonds. Alliances between gods are usually based on shared goals or domains, such as war gods aligning with a death god. Rivalries may arise from conflicting interests, such as a sun god opposing an underworld god. Familial ties among gods can mirror human dynamics, such as jealousy, favoritism, and rebellion. These relationships can lead to divine drama and conflict, driving the overarching plot of your story. For example, a rivalry between sibling gods could result in a war that affects both the divine and mortal realms. Romantic entanglements, both between gods and mortals, can add another layer of complexity. These relationships can lead to stories of passion, jealousy, and revenge, influencing the actions of both gods and mortals and creating opportunities for character development and plot twists. Tip 7. Highlight the power of faith. The power of a deity is often tied to the belief and worship they receive from mortals. In many narratives, the strength of a god is directly proportional to the number and fervor of their followers. A god who has many worshippers might be nearly invincible, while one with few believers might be weak or even dying. This concept introduces the idea of worship as a flow of energy from mortals to gods. Rituals, sacrifices, and prayers can replenish or enhance a god's power, while blasphemy, loss of faith, or the rise of a rival religion might drain it. Divine retribution can be a way for gods to punish those who lose faith or commit blasphemy, reinforcing their need for worship. This can manifest in curses, plagues, or direct divine intervention against the transgressor. The power of faith can be a driving force in your narrative. Characters might need to convert others to worship a particular god to empower them before a great battle, or they might need to face a declining god seeking to regain power through any means necessary. Tip number 8. Incorporate quests and ceases. Gods often give mortal quests that serve both divine and mortal purposes. These quests might be tests of faith, ways to earn favor, or necessary actions to prevent or cause a divine event, such as retrieving a lost artifact to avert an apocalypse. In addition to quests, gods might impose conditions or ceases on mortals to maintain peace or to prevent certain actions. These conditions often come with divine consequences if broken, such as curses, loss of blessings, or the resurgence of a sealed evil. This adds tension and conflict to the story, as characters must navigate the demands of the gods while pursuing their own goals. Quests given by gods can drive the narrative forward, while ceases and conditions can create moral dilemmas and high-stakes decisions for the characters. For example, a ceasefire between warring factions might hinge on the completion of a divine quest, with the threat of divine wrath if the terms are violated. Tip number 9. Make use of avatars and divine manifestations. Gods often interact with the world through avatars, physical incarnations that act as their representatives on Earth. These avatars can carry out specific missions, test mortals, or guide them without revealing their divine nature. Avatars allow gods to influence the world directly, adding an element of mystery and tension to the narrative. Divine manifestation, on the other hand, are non-corporeal forms through which gods reveal their will. These manifestations might take on the form of visions, omens, or natural phenomena, such as a storm or a miraculous event. They can convey the god's approval, warnings, or displeasure, shaping the actions of mortals and influencing the direction of the story. In some cases, gods might possess mortals or animals to speak through them, especially during rituals or moments of crisis. This can create dramatic and unexpected turns in the narrative, as characters grapple with the influence of the divine. Tip number 10. Develop a pantheon with diverse roles. A well-developed pantheon adds a plethora of divine interactions that influences the mortal realm. Each god should have a unique domain, such as love, war, wisdom, or the sea, ensuring that their roles do not overlap. This specialization creates clear roles within the Pantheon, leading to specific types of worship and followers. When creating a Pantheon, consider including both complementary and opposing forces. For example, a sun god might be paired with a moon god, while a god of life might oppose a god of death. These dynamics add depth and conflict within the Pantheon, providing opportunities for storytelling. The structure of the Pantheon should reflect the culture that worships it. A warrior society might have a dominant war god, while society focused on trade might prioritize the god of commerce. This alignment between culture and Pantheon enhances the realism and coherence of your world. Do you want to see more things I can offer when it comes to writing advice? Click whatever video YouTube is recommending now.